Hello everyone, welcome back to another Magic the Gathering video. Ravnica Allegiance pre-release weekend is happening, and as part of that, I was able to pick up the new Planeswalker decks. So we have the Domri Raid Planeswalker deck for Gruul, so red and green. There is also a Dovin Baan Planeswalker deck, so it's Zorius white and blue. Each of these comes with 2 additional booster packs. 60 card deck. You get the Planeswalker card for each one. There's also codes in here to unlock these decks in Magic Arena. That's pretty much the main reason why I've been buying these ones, is to get those decks online. So with Guild of Ravnica, we had the Raw and Vraska decks, which both had online codes as well. So we're going to get these open. We're going to take a look at the cards. We're going to open the booster packs, or there's 2 booster packs in each of these decks, and then we're going to get the codes redeemed for Magic Arena. So we're going to go ahead and start with Domri. And I think you get a little deck box with these as well. I could be wrong. Okay, so there is our Domri Planeswalker card. Yep, yeah, so you get the deck inside of this deck box. Little plastic container. Not a fan of the way they pack these cards in here. Makes them kind of hard to get out. Alright, so here is Domri City Smasher. So 4 red and green comes in with 4 loyalty. +2, creatures you control get +1/+1 and have haste until the end of turn. Pretty good. -3, Domri City Smasher deals 3 damage to any target. And -8, put 3 1/1 counters on each creature you control. Those creatures gain trample until the end of turn. So it starts with 4, ultimates on 8. So that is Domri. I'm going to go ahead and get the deck open. So here's our deck and our 2 packs of Ravnica Allegiance. There we go. Get this open here. Alright, there we go. And there's our code card. Put that away. So we have the End-Raze Forerunners. So 5 and 3 green for a 7/7 with Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. When it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain Vigilance and Trample until the end of turn. So pretty strong, or kind of expensive, but pretty strong creature. We have Glass of the Guild Pact. So 2 mana, multicolored creatures you control get +1/+1. This would be pretty good. So I think this could work really well in a lot of commander decks, especially that are running dual colors. Generally, I try to stick to 2 colors when I do commander, so that would probably be a really good card for commander. My only deck that it might not be good in would be my Wizards deck, so most of the creatures in there are just straight blue. We have Domri's Nod Dog. So 3 red and green for a 5/2 with Trample. When it enters battlefield, you may search your library and or graveyard for a card named Domri City Smasher. Reveal it, put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. So again, there are cards in each of these decks that will help you get your Planeswalker into play. We have another one of those Nod Dogs, so 2 of those. We have the Clamor Shaman. 2 and a black for a 1/1 with Riot. And when it attacks, target creature and opponent controls. Target creature and opponent controls can't block this turn. So Riot seems like a cool mechanic, so you can either get a 1/1 counter on the creature or give the creature haste. So you can basically go give the shaman haste and make a creature not be able to block it. We have the Pharaoh Maka, 1 in a red for a 2/2. 2 of those guys. We have the Gravelhide Goblin. So 1 in a green for a 2/1. 3 in a green, it gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. 2 of those, another Clamor Shaman. Have the Axebane Beast. So 3 and a green for a 3/4. We have the, what's this? Rampaging Rendhorn. So 4 and a green for a 4/4 with Riot. So either gets a counter or gets haste. All right. Next up, we have the Sylvan Brush Strider. So 2 and a green for a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Had a technical issue with the camera for a second. It went kind of dark, so I had to reboot the camera. Another Sylvan Brush Strider. So 2 of them. We have a Wrecking Beast. So 5 and 2 green for a 6/6 with Riot and Trample. We have the Balrak Clan Crusher. So 3 red and green for a 4/4. You can tap it to remove +1/+1 counter from a creature you control, and then it deals 2 damage to any target. We have the Frenzied, how do you pronounce this? Frenzied Arnax. 2 red and green for a 3/3 with Riot and Trample, and you can pay 4 red and green, and it gets +3/+0 until the end of turn. And we have 3 of those. We have the Zertog Goblin. I really like this Goblin. So, red and green for a 2/2. Has Riot. And we have 3 of those Goblins. We have a Charging Warboar. So 1 red and green for a 3/1 with haste. As long as you control a Dovin Planeswalker, it gets +1/+1, and it also gets Trample. So 3 of those. We have 4 Gruul Guild Gates. So they enter the battlefield tapped. Tap for either green or red. And we have, looks like 11 mountains. Make sure that's correct. Yep, 11 mountains. 11 forests. So looks like it's running 26 lands. So 11, 11, and was it 4 guild gates? Yeah, so 4 guild gates and 11 forests, 11 mountains. We have Burn Bright. So 2 in a red. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until the end of turn. And let's see if this one focuses. We have another Burn Bright, so 2 of those. There we go. So 2 in a red, get +2/+2 until the end. Yeah, +2/+0 until the end of turn. We have a Stony Strength. So 1 green, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Untap that creature. You have 2 of that. We have Rage Fire. So 1 in a red, it deals 3 damage to target creature. And we have 4 of those Rage Fires. Alright, so that is the Domri deck. We're going to go ahead and open the 2 packs that are included with that deck, and then we'll move into the Dovin deck next. So we have a Vizkopa Vampire. So let's just go right to our rare. We have a Tithe Taker, or looks like an Orzhov card. 1 and a white for a 2/1. During your turn, spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast, and abilities your opponents activate cost 1 more to activate unless they're mana abilities, and it's a 2/1. Also has Afterlife 1, so when it dies, you get a 1/1 Spirit token with flying. Then an Orzhov Guildgate, and our uncommons we have the Rakdos Firewheeler. So 2 black, 2 red for a 4/3. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to target opponent and 2 damage to up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. Have the Dagger Caster. So 2/3 for 3 and a red. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. Then we have a Clan Guildmage. So red and green for a 2/2. For 1 in a red, you can tap it to make target creature can't block this turn. And 2 in a green. Yeah, so 2 in a red, make target creature can't block. And then two and a green, tap. Target land you control becomes a 4/4 elemental creature with haste until the end of turn. It's still a land. It's the Clan Guildmage. And let's see if there's any good common spirit token. I think there's a Skewer the Critics in here. That card looks really good. Nope, no Skewer the Critics, but next pack. Let's jump right to the rares. We have a Rakdos Guildgate and an Ooze. We have a Pestilent Spirit. So let's see. 2 and a black for a 3/2 with Menace and Death Touch. Instants and sorcery spells you control have Death Touch. So I imagine that means if I do a spell that does 1 damage to target creature, if this thing is out, let's say that 1 damage will be enough because that spell will now have Death Touch. It wants to focus. Doesn't seem like it wants to focus, but there's that, and the uncommons. Roll Beastmaster, Regenesis, and Orzhov Enforcer. So, 3 and a green for a 2/2 with Riot. Whenever it attacks, whenever Gruul Beastmaster attacks another target creature, you control gets +X/+0 until the end of the turn, where X is Gruul Beastmaster's power. We have a Regenesis. Looks like 3 and 2 green. It's an instant. Return up to 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. Doesn't seem to want to focus. And then Orzhov Enforcer, 1 and a black for a 1/2 with Death Touch and Afterlife 1. Alright, so those are those 2 packs. We're going to go ahead and open the Dovin Planeswalker deck next. Alright, so here's our Dovin Planeswalker. So 4 white and blue, enters with 5 loyalty. +1, you gain 2 life and draw a card. -1, tap target creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. And -9, tap all permanents target opponent controls. That player skips their next untap step. So basically lets you kind of just swing out with everything, and they won't be able to block it. Probably won't be able to play a whole lot of spells if they're only being able to play tap 1 land, potentially the land that they play that turn. It taps all their lands, all their creatures, all their artifacts, everything else. That's Dovin, Architect of Law. And then we have our deck here. So again, 2 packs of Ravnica Allegiance. Take the code card out. Excuse me. So we have Unbreakable Formation. So 2 and a white. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. And addendum. Cast a spell during your main phase. Put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures. And they gain vigilance until end of turn. So where's that? We have, what's this? We have Verity Circle. 2 and a blue. Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped, if it isn't being declared as an attacker, you may draw a card. 4 and a blue. Tap target creature without flying. We have Dovin's Dismissal. So 2 white and blue. Put up to 1 target tapped creature on top of its owner's library. You may search your library for and/or graveyard for a card named Dovin, Architect of Law. Reveal it and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle it. So I hope you get Dovin out. We have 2 of those. We have the Concordia Pegasus. So 1 and a white for a 1/3 with flying. We have the Prowling Caracal. 1 and a white for a 3/1. Got 2 of that. We have Spirit of the Spires. So 3 and a white for a 2/4 with flying. Other creatures you control with flying get +0/+1. There's 2 of that. A couple more, 2 more Concordia Pegasus. We have the 10th District Veteran. So 2 and a white for a 2/3 with vigilance, and when it attacks, untap another target creature you control. We have Chillbringer. So 4 and a blue for a 3/3 with flying. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. We have the Senate Courier. So 2 and a blue for a 1/4 with flying. For 1 and a white, it gains vigilance until the end of turn. Got 2 of that. We have the Windstorm Drake. So 4 and a blue for a 3/3 with flying. Other creatures you control with flying get +1/+0. So the other card in this deck that gives them +0/+1 reminds me of Chief of the Edge and Chief of the Scale, I think, from Khans of Tarkir, where one of them would give your creatures +0/+1, the other would give your creatures +1/+0. There's another Windstorm Drake. So we have the Azorius Night Arbiter. So 3 white and blue for a 2/5 with vigilance. Azorius's Night Arbiter can't be blocked. We have the Elite Arrestor. So 0/3, 1 white for a 0/3. For 1 and a blue, you can tap target creature. We got 4 of those. We have Dovin's Automaton. So 4 colorless artifact creature. So it's a homunculus. 3/3. As long as you control a Dovin Planeswalker, Dovin's Automaton gets +2/+2 and has vigilance. So we have 3 of those. We have 4 Azorius Guildgate. So they enter tapped, and tap are either white or blue. We have 12 planes. Ten islands. So we're looking at running 26 lands in these decks. We have Arrestor Zeal. So 1 white, target creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. Has Addendum. If you cast a spell during your main phase, that creature gains flying until the end of turn as well. So if you play it as an instant, your creature gets +2/+2. If you play it during your turn, it gets +2/+2 and flying. So Addendum's pretty cool. So we have a total of 3 Arrestor Zeal. We have Summary Judgment. So 1 and a white, Summary Judgment deals 3 damage to target tapped creature. Addendum, if you cast a spell during your main phase, it deals 5 damage to that creature instead. So it kind of works like, I think it was like Take Vengeance from, I think it was Core 19. But it basically destroys tapped creature. Basically let them attack, maybe you block, maybe you take the damage. Then on your main phase, you play this for 1 and a white to deal 5 damage to it. So you kind of have to wait for something to attack, but it's still pretty good. And then we have, what's this? Code of Constraint, 2 and a blue. Target creature gets -4/-0 until the end of turn. Draw a card. As Addendum, if you cast a spell during your main phase, tap that creature and it doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. We have 2 of those, and then we have a Sphinx's Insight. So 2 white-blue, draw 2 cards. If you cast a spell during your main phase, it has Addendum, you also gain 2 life. So draw 2 cards, gain 2 life. Alright, we're going to go ahead and open the packs that came with the Dovin deck. Let's go right to the rare here. We have another Tith Taker. We already looked at that earlier. Rakdos Guildgate. And then we have our uncommons. So we have the, what's this called? The Shark to Crab, the Simic. Let's see if it wants to focus. Doesn't seem to want to focus, so it is 2 green and blue for a 4/4. Has adapt 1 for 2 green and blue. This creature has no 1/1 counters on it. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on Shark to Crab, tap target creature and opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap during its next controller's untap step. That. We have Wall of Lost Thoughts. So one and a blue for a 0/4 defender. When it enters the battlefield, target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into their graveyard. Go. Wall of Lost Thoughts. And we have Sentinel's Mark. So one and a white, enchantment, aura, flash, enchant creature gets +1/+2 and has vigilance. And it also has addendum, so if you play it during your main phase, enchanted creature gains lifelink until the end of turn. So that was the first pack. Alright, let's go right to the rare here. There's an Orzhov Guildgate, and we have a foil Rubble Reading. So destroy target land, scry 2. And our rare is we have Bedevil. So 2 black and red, destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. It reminds me of Dreadbore from I don't know if it was Return to Ravnica or Gatecrasher Dragon's Maze, but pretty good card, pretty similar. So yeah, so Bedevil, see, it's also an instant, which is nice. So instant speed removal on artifacts, creatures, or planeswalkers. Yeah. And into our uncommons, we have Gate Colossus. 8 mana for an 8/8, costs 1 less to cast for each gate you control. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less. And whenever a gate enters the battlefield under your control, you may put Gate Colossus from your graveyard on top of your library. We have Dovin's Acuity? I think so. Dovin's Acuity. One white and blue. It's an enchantment. When Dovin's Acuity enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw a card. Whenever you cast an instant spell during your main phase, you may return Dovin's Acuity to its owner's hand. Let's just see if we can get it to focus on the card. Doesn't look like it wants to focus. We'll go on to the next uncommon. We have Tin Street Dodger. So 1 for a 1/1 with haste. Pay red, make it can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with Defender. The Goblin Rogue. Alright, so that's going to do it for this video, opening these 2 new Planeswalker decks. Going to go get the codes redeemed for decks online, maybe play a couple games of those, might do videos for those decks as well. But that's going to do it for now. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again for watching.